Guys, Magic Spoon has become my go-to breakfast and my afternoon snack. My kids love it, my wife loves it, and I love it. Each serving has 0 sugar, 13 to 14 grams of protein, 4 net carbs, and only about 140 calories per serving. You should feel good about eating it. Magic Spoon is keto-friendly, gluten-free, grain-free, soy-free, low-carb, and GMO-free, but most of all, Magic Spoon tastes amazing. Choose from their best-selling cocoa, fruity, frosted peanut butter, cookies and cream, and maple waffle flavors, plus other awesome flavors, including blueberry and cinnamon. Magic Spoon is so confident in their product, it is backed by a 100% happiness guarantee. So if you don't like it for any reason, they will refund 100% of your money, no questions asked. If you haven't tried Magic Spoon yet, just click the link below and use promo code Chael for $5 off, or go to magicspoon.com/Chael. For my Canadian and British fans, you are in luck. Magic Spoon is now shipping to Canada and the UK. Chimaev, is he calling guys out? You guys following Chimaev? He called out both Diaz boys a week ago. He called out Colby half a week ago. He's calling out champions. He's calling out different divisions. He called out Conor McGregor just as I sat down here today. Is he calling guys out, or is he exposing guys? Because I feel as though he's exposing guys. I would draw a little bit tired of a guy doing a call-out. If you're so goddamn good and you're such a big deal, why are guys not signing up to fight you? Because everybody signed up to fight Conor. That's not just now. That was all through Conor's career. And Conor told the world why it was. He called it Red Panty Night, and Conor's telling you the truth. Red Panty Night is a real thing. Your contract is very different when you're in there with McGregor, and your entire life in the sport is going to be different if you ever shared the octagon with Conor. You're going to have more eyeballs and more people who know who you are for whatever you want to do later in life and take that. It's a real thing. Red Panty Night is real. Why is it not real with Chimaev? And maybe we just hit it on the head. Because it doesn't come with the same money. It does not come with the same notoriety. It is not a guaranteed main event. It is not guaranteed to be on pay-per-view. You are not guaranteed to have sponsors and media opportunities like you've never seen, but you are guaranteed a goddamn hard fight. Now, everybody knew that with McGregor, too. They were willing to go out there and take the lumps just for what that opportunity would provide in the future. It was an investment. But they were quick to line up and beg to be the one to get to take that ass whipping in front of a sold-out arena. Nobody apparently wants to fight Chimaev. Why not? What's different? The beating's not different. Chimaev's going to take you down and pound you out. McGregor's going to leave you on your feet when he knocks you out. What's the difference? I think the difference is the level of participation. I think it is the level of exposure. I think as hard of a time as Chimaev is having getting a fight right now, fast forward 2 years, people are going to be begging to fight him. Not because he got any worse or they got any better, but he'll have more of that Conor effect. And I don't feel as though Chimaev is calling people out right now. I feel as though he's exposing them, and I'm grateful for it. I am. I want to know who a fake tough guy is. I am not going to part with my time, put on my fight t-shirt, throw a party, and watch a bully. And you either are or you aren't. It's not about having courage. It's not about being good. You're a bully or you aren't. Definition, real simple. If you only fight people you know you can beat, you're a bully. If you fight them all, you're a competitor. Period. Straight across the board. You treat everybody the same. Or you're a bully. And I feel as though Chimaev is exposing this for us, and the buck is going to stop eventually. He just hasn't got to the right guy. If Colby had not, I'll speak for Colby, but if Colby had not just got out of the ring and had his heart ripped out, Colby would have already agreed to that fight. We don't expect Colby to agree to anything right now. It's only been a couple of weeks, but he gets a couple more. Can we all agree? Yeah, sure we can. But eventually, Chimaev's going to say the right name. I will tell you right now, Masvidal, who is not available, he's hurt. Chimaev's doing the right thing, give a guy his space. And Chimaev learned that that's the right thing to do when Chimaev needed his space and everybody gave it to him. Hey, you get better. When you get better, I'm going to hurt you again. But for now, take care of yourself, right? It's one of those things. There's a level of camaraderie where you must be civil. You must show a level of decency. And that is what Chimaev is doing with Masvidal. And the only reason I even bring Jorge into this thing is the buck will stop at Masvidal. Nobody's calling out Masvidal and getting away with it. They're just not. They will get a response. And that response is going to be yes. But overarchingly, guys, as much as I do feel this is exposure, not call out, and I do think that I've succeeded in drawing the distinction between the two, more than anything, this proves we must revive the BMF. We must. We loved the BMF. The BMF was not a joke to us. It was meant as a joke. It worked out. Everybody loved it. Even sportscasters on ESPN couldn't help themselves from saying BMF. It was a sportscaster's way on network television of getting as close to the line as they possibly could of cursing without actually doing it. Like sport, it just worked. Everybody loved the BMF, but there is some real BMFs. By the way, the people that Chimaev is calling out, put them all in a bracket. Grab the Diaz boys. They count as BMFs. Grab Chimaev. He counts. Grab Colby. He counts. Grab Conor. I mean, everybody that he's calling out of these BMFs, he's not picking on any low-hanging fruit. He's calling out the roughest guys out there. We got to revive it. And by the way, if he's as good as it appears that he is, we got to get a belt around him for multiple reasons. For multiple reasons. Bring back the BMF. I've always wanted the BMF out there. And when I say BMF, by the way, I do mean the actual BMF, but I could live with a compromise. Do you remember back when they had super fights? Some of the bigger fights that you ever saw up until the year 2000 were super fights. I remember Ken Shamrock and Dan Severn fought. It was a super fight. There was a belt. A belt came along with it. Abu Dhabi's doing that right now. You can be the super fight champion. But then you will come back at an Abu Dhabi and you will defend that championship. Or you don't, and they bring two new guys in, but just for that night only. There's something special. It works. He does not water down the sport. You have to look at the integrity of the sport in front of everything else. I think that there was a belief going into the BMF that we were damaging that. And as a way of damaging it, we're going to disclose to the world not only what we're doing, but this is the only time that we're going to do it. So don't even bother complaining. Nobody did complain. Nobody complained. It was the opposite. We absolutely loved it. If you can create opportunity, the locker rooms are going to go crazy for that. Not very many people get to be champion. Not very many people get an opportunity to be champion. But knowing that that opportunity exists, hope is a real thing. Hope is what makes people do very difficult things. The life of a cage fighter is not attractive. It is not seductive. It is difficult. That road is full of sacrifice, early mornings, late nights, missing of social functions, not going out, not being with the guys. You're never going to say, I went bowling last night. I went to the theater and caught this film last night. Those things aren't going to happen. You're going to be too tired to go. You're going to be in the gym. You're going to get your media done. You're going to go to sleep so that you get refreshed and recovered so that you can get up and go do it again. I'm only sharing with you. It's a very honorable thing. And people around the world are willing to do that with the hope of an opportunity. Let's create opportunity. We have it right now. We have a BMF. We got Chimaev, who looks like he could be the BMF champion. It does. Many people believe he could be the undisputed world champion. Before we get to that point, it seems as though by the people he's exposing, I won't say called out, I think he is exposing people. He is exposing who the real fighters are. He is exposing who's actually hungry still. He's exposing who wants an opportunity. For the most part, we got some real eyebrows raised looking in a few directions of guys who turn out they aren't what we thought that they were. But that's only one side of the coin. What about the Neil Magny's of the world? What about the Belal Muhammad's of the world? What about the Jeff Neals of the world? And you might say, well, that's not the same name recognition. I agree it's not. They want that name recognition. They want the opportunity. That's my entire point. Create it for them. This is a volunteer army. Nobody is drafted. Nobody has to be here. It's the same in the Olympic Games. It's the same in the NCAA. Everybody can raise their hand and say, I believe I can do this. And we will start wielding down the field in a competitive architecture until one guy is left standing. I really hope they bring the BMF back. I could live with a super fight. I can live with different things. The night needs to be culminated with a belt. That's what we do in our sport. We don't do trophies. We don't do medals. We don't just hand a guy a paycheck. The night culminates with a belt and a ceremony known as the wrapping around the waist by the boss of the sport. It's a big deal. It's a big deal. It's a guy that dedicated and stopped his life trying to pursue that very thing. I can tell you, it's a big deal. Create the opportunity. Bring the BMF back. And by the way, if we're going to bring the BMF back, and the BMF right now is around the waist of a welterweight, then maybe that's where we've got to start. But that turns out it's the same thing as Chimaev. And it's getting to the point If what we're being told is true, and the mere fact that Chimaev is still calling guys out tells me we don't have a deal done behind the scenes. Many times you will know when a deal's done. Two guys are going at each other and all of a sudden they lay out, they don't say anything. They quit calling each other out, they quit calling everybody out. That's a sign. What that is they've already reached a deal. They don't need to sell what's already sold, and they're just waiting for the announcement to come. I don't believe that's the situation with Chimaev. I do not believe that Chimaev's already got a fight with Blahal or with Neil Magny lined up. I don't believe that in the least. Because he's so active of exposing and calling out other guys. It would just be contrary to the way that's usually done. I have no evidence. None. In fact, what little clues I do have are circumstantial, and I just presented them for you. But I don't think he's got something lined up. I don't think he's got an ace up his sleeve. I think he has no opponent because nobody's willing to fight him. Over a period of time, I'm not going to be turned off if he goes and creates his own damn belt. Sean O'Malley just did it. Sean O'Malley just declared himself the unranked champion, laid out his case, and guess how many people argued? Sean O'Malley is the undisputed champion. That's the way it works. We got to get a belt. If Chimaev is as good and as popular as I believe he is, if he's wanted to be watched by as many people as I believe, that's you guys. We got to find a way. We got to get a belt around the guy. I submit the BMF comes back. I'm not against a super fight coming back. I hope that Chimaev continues to expose so we at home know what we're actually looking at.